one more element of Bhakti Yoga. So this is the fourth one. We have seen three, that it's transforming emotions, number one, and it's about supreme love for Ishwar, right? So emotions, love, and Ishwar. That's what Bhakti Yoga is transforming. The fourth element is that this process, it happens through different levels of worship. Through different levels of worship, we transform all our emotions to the supreme love for Ishwar. So there is different levels. I think that's the first slide which Vivekananda, that it will move through different levels. In some ways, it's like a video game, right? You will have to pass through the levels. It is easy, but there are levels. You will have to pass, don't get stuck. So that is the fourth element of this. So just a quick brief, what are the four levels of Bhakti? What are the different levels of Bhakti? We'll see it as that there are four types. This is coming from the Gita. So Gita said there are four types of Bhakta who come to me. That's what Krishna is saying, who come to me or approach me. The others are not even there. They are not even to start this journey. But there are four. There is a certain emotion they are driven by, and what they seek is also slightly different. Yeah. So what are these four? The first is a person in distress, right? So this is an artha. In Gita, it's called artha. This fear, pain, that's what's driving the bhakti. So when we seek God for this is my experience. I also have gone through this process. First time went to Hanumanji when I was in deep trouble. Like, things are not working. Life is really broken down. Kuch karo. Right? So all we are seeking is that time safety, protection. Just keep us above water because it's getting hard. Right? We find those anchors for us, and it's fine. This is nothing wrong, right? This is how the process starts. There's no, for some at least that was how it was for me. Saying, yeah, it's getting very tough. अभी नहीं हो रहा है, अपना बहुत कुछ लगा लिया, दिमाग ये वो नहीं चल रहा है. Please, we need some intervention here, and that's how you possibly start. So that's the first. The second is a materialist, who is, we saw again, it's coming from greed, jealousy, more materialism, comfort. So what they're seeking is comfort, fame. I will do this. That's very common, right? Give me this. That trade transaction is happening. So if you see also linked with the triangle of love, how this is linking. That's how that also starts. That yeah, if I do this puja, this will happen. A lot of the Vedic rituals are around that as well. There are different yajnas for different kinds of benefits, right? So that is also a place where people start or experience the divine through, because it proves to them that there is something beyond our senses. There is something which is not in our mind or in the five senses. There is some other means that is also operating. So it establishes that faith, that trust in the system. So that is also there. And some are curious. They seek knowledge. Right? So the emotion that gets driven by is pleasure, by satisfaction, by pleasantness. So in that state, you will say, okay, now let me explore what is all this about. I've seen this force can protect, this force can provide material benefit. Let's see what is, let's try and understand this force. So we're still operating with our mind here, but you're saying, let's understand this force. So there's curiosity that's coming. Jigyasu is the word that is used. And then the fourth is a jnani. He is driven by love for Ishwar. So he has experienced what he has to experience. He has the knowledge. So he's now redirecting his effort to love for Ishwar. And his desire is oneness. Oneness with this thing that he has gotten the knowledge of a little bit. So he knows, he understands, and that person is saying, I'm driven by love for Ishwar, and what I seek is oneness. And this is like every, I've read everyone. So Raman Maharishi Ji, Swami Chinmayanand, Swami Vivekananda, Adi Shankaracharya, who are also known as the most intellectual people, whose readings are so, commentaries are so beautiful, where they have understood all this, they will also talk about this kind of love for Ishwar, or the love that is there. And I think this is then characterized as, the first three are known as lower planes, what again Vivekananda ji referred in the first. They are driven by lower plane, and the jnani is where it's higher, or parabhakti is the word used. And these are the levels. He also says you have to go through these levels. So it's not about I'll only do higher or para. No, the need is for first three. That is a phase. It's very important phase. You go through that. The important thing is do not get stuck. It's important is to keep moving, not get lost, not get stuck. You get lost when you say my method is only right, the other methods are wrong, right? So I gained something materially because I did this puja of this particular god, so he is the only god, the others are not gods, right? Or not representatives of Ishwar or God. So that is, don't get lost in that. Don't get lost in just fear, in pain, in materialism, or in knowledge as well, So you can seek knowledge, you can read all the scriptures, but don't get lost in it. Keep moving, don't get stuck. That's the, I think, simple message. Start wherever you are. There is nothing wrong, right? It is just the reality. It is where we are, because these are sort of driven by our trigunas. It's in the field. This is what's happening, operating in the field.